Are you feeling overwhelmed by the obstacles in your life? Like no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to get ahead? Maybe you've been putting in effort, working long hours, trying to be your best, but you're still stuck in the same place. The world keeps moving forward, and you're left behind. Does it feel like success is slipping through your fingers? If you're nodding along right now, I want to let you in on something. There's a brutal truth that can change everything for you. It's the reason why 95% of women find certain qualities irresistible, and it's something that many people overlook when they're stuck in the grind. It's not about playing games. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about tapping into your true power, understanding what makes you unique, and using that to your advantage. The harsh reality is that many people, especially those facing challenges, don't realize the one thing they're missing that could make all the difference. But this one thing isn't just a superficial trick, it's a mindset shift that can affect your personal and professional life, your relationships, and your growth. So today, let's dive into how this can change your life, how you can break through the barriers, and find the strength to overcome what's been holding you back. First, let's take a moment to acknowledge the struggle. I know you might be facing a lot of things right now. You may be dealing with professional setbacks, financial stress, or personal struggles that are draining you emotionally. The weight of your challenges might feel overwhelming, and it can sometimes seem like there's no way out. But the truth is, there's always a way forward sometimes. It's just about seeing things from a different perspective. The key to overcoming these struggles is about knowing yourself and understanding what you bring to the table. The truth that many overlook is that confidence isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being comfortable in who you are. No pretensions, no facades. When you own your authentic self, when you step into your power, things start to shift. The people around you start noticing you in a different way. And suddenly, those doors that seemed closed begin to open. Let me explain this a little further. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to command attention without even trying? There's something magnetic about them, isn't there? It's not just their looks, their social status, or their wealth. It's how they carry themselves, how they exude self-assurance and belief in their own worth. And the amazing part, you have the ability to create that same magnetic presence. You have the tools within you right now to make those shifts. So, let's start with understanding where you might be going wrong. Often, when we're stuck, we're so focused on external challenges, what's going wrong in our environment, that we forget to turn inward and address the internal barriers. Maybe you've been caught up in self-doubt. Or maybe you're feeling like you're not good enough. The pressure to succeed, to keep up, can make anyone feel like they're not measuring up. But here's where you need to make a decision. You can either stay stuck in that mindset, letting these doubts hold you back, or you can choose to make a change. Choosing to make a change isn't about a big leap. It's about small, consistent steps toward the person you want to become. It's about realizing that success, whether in love, work, or personal growth, doesn't happen by accident, it happens by intention. Now, let's talk about shifting that mindset. The first step is realizing that it's not your circumstances holding you back, but your perception of those circumstances. When you start viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth, when you embrace the struggles as part of the journey, that's when things start to change. It's all about reframing your challenges. Take a moment to think about a time you overcame something difficult in your life. It didn't feel easy at the time, but when you look back, you can probably see the growth that came from it. It made you stronger, more resilient. The same can happen now. Every challenge you face, whether in your career or relationships, can be an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more in tune with your authentic self. So, how do you make this shift? The first actionable step is to become aware of your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself about the obstacles you're facing? Are you telling yourself that you can't do it? Or are you telling yourself that you'll find a way to make it through? The thoughts you entertain shape your reality. If you want to change your outcomes, you need to change the story you're telling yourself. Once you recognize the power of your inner dialogue, the next step is to act on it. If you're constantly feeling stuck, start by taking small actions that push you out of your comfort zone. Whether that's applying for a new job, initiating a difficult conversation, or setting a personal goal, take that first step. Action breeds confidence. The more you do, the more you prove to yourself that you're capable of handling anything that comes your way. And here's the key: don't wait for the perfect moment to act. Perfection is an illusion. You will never have all the answers or be completely prepared. But what you do have is the ability to act right now. Don't wait for the stars to align. Start with what you have and move forward with confidence. As you begin taking action, you'll encounter resistance. It's inevitable. The voice of self-doubt will try to creep in. The fear of failure will rise. And you might feel like you're not good enough. But here's where you need to dig deep and remember why you started. You're not just doing this for a quick win. You're doing this for your future. And the more you push through, the stronger you become. Think about someone you admire. Maybe they've achieved something remarkable in their life. Do you think they didn't face obstacles? Of course, they did. But what made them stand out was their ability to keep going when things got tough. They didn't let failure define them. They learned from it, and they kept moving forward. You can do the same. Now, let's explore real-life applications of these steps. Consider someone who might be in a position similar to yours, feeling stuck, uncertain, and overwhelmed. They may have been in a job they didn't love, or they may have been in a relationship that drained them. But one day, they decided to take control. They started small. They reached out for help. They set clear boundaries. And they focused on their personal growth. Slowly but surely, things started to change. They found a new job they were passionate about. They built healthier relationships. They grew as a person. And if they can do it, so can you. The key is consistency. It's not about making huge, life-changing decisions every day. It's about showing up for yourself each day and taking small steps toward your goals. The compound effect of these actions will lead to massive change. Maintaining momentum is another challenge. Once you start to make progress, it's easy to feel like you've reached a plateau. But this is where you need to keep pushing. Celebrate small wins along the way. Whether it's a new opportunity that comes your way or a personal milestone you've hit, recognize your achievements. Staying motivated is a process, and it requires ongoing effort. You also need to prioritize your well-being during this process. Growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires self-care, balance, and the ability to recharge when necessary. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for long-term success. Avoid burnout by setting boundaries, taking time for yourself, and being mindful of your emotional health. As you move forward on this journey, it's essential to remember that your path is unique. This may sound like an obvious statement, but it's one that many of us forget in the face of overwhelming challenges. We live in a world where comparisons are constantly being made, whether it's through social media, workplace environments, or even personal relationships. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our success, growth, or happiness based on someone else's journey. But here's the truth: what works for someone else might not work for you. And that's okay. The path that someone else takes may seem like it has been paved with success and ease. But behind every achievement is a story of struggle, sacrifice, and lessons learned. The same applies to your story. Your experiences, your struggles, and your triumphs are uniquely yours. It's critical to stop looking over your shoulder at others and start focusing on your own individual journey. No two people walk the same road, and no two journeys will look the same. What someone else has achieved in a certain time frame may not be the same as what you will achieve in yours, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's one of the most liberating realizations you can have. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free yourself from the pressure of trying to measure up to an arbitrary standard. You give yourself the space to grow at your own pace, to develop in a way that's aligned with your true self. Instead of chasing someone else's version of success, focus on what's right for you. Your growth will not be linear, and there will be bumps in the road. But that doesn't make your journey any less valuable. It's important to embrace the fact that growth isn't about following a prescribed formula, it's about learning, adapting, and evolving as you encounter new experiences. When you focus on your own path, one of the most powerful things you can do is remain true to your values. Your values are the core of who you are, and they will guide you through the toughest moments. They are the foundation of every decision you make, every action you take, and every goal you set. If you're clear on your values, you won't be easily swayed by the distractions of others. You'll know what's truly important to you, and you can make choices that reflect those priorities. Remaining true to your values can be especially difficult when the world around you is constantly telling you to conform. Whether it's societal expectations, family pressures, or professional demands, it's easy to lose sight of what you actually want. But here's the secret: when you stay connected to your values, you align yourself with the things that truly matter. This alignment brings a deep sense of fulfillment, because you're not just achieving things based on external definitions of success, but on what resonates with your deepest beliefs and desires. Embracing the process of growth is another crucial aspect of navigating your own journey. Growth isn't just about achieving a specific outcome, it's about the transformation that happens along the way. When you embrace growth, you're not just looking for the destination. You're enjoying the lessons, the challenges, the failures, and the successes that occur in between. Each step, no matter how small, is part of the process, and each one contributes to your development as a person. The process of growth requires patience. We often want things to happen quickly. We want the results now, and we want them to be perfect. But real growth doesn't work that way. It's a gradual unfolding. It requires trust in the process, in yourself, and in the belief that every small action you take is bringing you closer to the person you are meant to be. Every mistake is a lesson. At first glance, mistakes might seem like failures. They might be seen as something to avoid, something to be embarrassed by, or something that makes us feel like we're not good enough. But in reality, every mistake carries with it a lesson that can accelerate our growth. Think about it: when you make a mistake, whether it's in your personal life, at work, or in relationships, you're presented with an opportunity to learn. You get to reflect on what went wrong, why it happened, and what you can do differently next time. Mistakes are some of the most valuable teachers you'll encounter in your life. They provide insights that can't be obtained through success alone. If you never made a mistake, you might never realize what needs to change or improve. You might never truly understand the depth of your own capabilities or the areas where you need to grow. Mistakes, although uncomfortable, show us our limitations and challenges, and by identifying them, we can begin to work on them. Imagine if you were able to reframe mistakes as lessons instead of failures. Instead of getting discouraged, you'd start looking for the nugget of wisdom that each mistake brings. Mistakes teach you resilience. They teach you how to get back up when you fall. And they remind you that no matter how hard it is, you have the strength to keep going. Mistakes help you discover new strategies, improve your decision-making, and, most importantly, help you develop a mindset that is not afraid to fail. Instead, it welcomes failure as a stepping stone to success. Every setback is an opportunity to reassess and try again. Setbacks are often seen as roadblocks, things that stop us in our tracks or send us spiraling into frustration. But what if you saw setbacks as a sign to pause and reassess? Instead of being defeated, take a step back. Look at where things went wrong, what you could have done differently, and what the experience is teaching you. Setbacks don't mean that you're not capable or that success isn't in your future. In fact, setbacks often signal that you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, which is where growth happens. When you encounter a setback, it's an opportunity to evaluate the bigger picture. Maybe you need to adjust your approach, redefine your goals, or seek out new resources. A setback can provide clarity, as it forces you to reflect on what's working and what isn't. It gives you the space to evaluate your plan and make changes. Without setbacks, you might continue to move forward blindly, not realizing that you could be heading in the wrong direction or using the wrong methods. Setbacks push you to reassess, and that's when you make the course corrections that lead to more sustainable success. What sets resilient people apart from others is their ability to reassess, learn from setbacks, and take that knowledge with them as they try again. Every time you face a setback, you grow stronger. It's not about avoiding setbacks, it's about learning how to use them to your advantage. When you change your perspective and see setbacks as part of the journey rather than something to avoid, you empower yourself to keep moving forward with renewed focus and purpose. And each victory, no matter how small, is a sign that you're on the right track. We often wait for the big wins, the major milestones, before we acknowledge our progress. But the truth is, success is made up of small victories. Every time you take one step closer to your goal, no matter how seemingly insignificant, you're making progress. These small victories are what build the momentum you need to keep going. They're the building blocks of bigger achievements. Celebrating small victories is incredibly important for staying motivated. It's easy to get discouraged when you're focused on a large goal and it feels like the finish line is miles away. But if you stop and recognize the smaller successes along the way, you'll find that they are a constant reminder that you're moving forward. For example, if your goal is to get in better shape, the first time you exercise, even for just 10 minutes, is a victory. If your goal is to improve your career, getting positive feedback from a colleague or completing a task efficiently is a small but significant win. These little victories are the markers that show you're heading in the right direction. Over time, these cumulative moments will lead to a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The path of growth and success is not linear. You will experience ups and downs. But it's in the accumulation of those moments, the mistakes, setbacks, and victories that your growth is truly measured. As you learn from each experience and continue to move forward, you become more equipped to handle whatever challenges come your way. Imagine looking back at your journey a year from now. You might realize that all the struggles you faced, all the times you felt lost or uncertain, led to a much stronger version of yourself. Every mistake, every setback, and every small victory was part of your transformation. You learned things you couldn't have learned any other way. You grew in ways you didn't expect. You became wiser, stronger, and more confident in your ability to face future challenges. The key is to trust that the growth you're experiencing is happening for a reason, even if it doesn't always seem clear in the moment. Growth is often messy and uncomfortable. It's easy to get discouraged when you're in the middle of a setback or dealing with the aftermath of a mistake. But if you trust that this process is shaping you into someone better, you can embrace the discomfort with confidence. Trust that every struggle, every lesson, every small victory is part of your transformation. You may not always see it right away, but as you continue forward, you'll start to recognize the patterns. You'll see how the tough times were necessary for you to reach a place where you are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. This trust in your growth is essential. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust that each step, no matter how small, is building you up. The process may not always be easy, and there will be times when you question your ability to keep going. But if you hold on to the belief that your mistakes are lessons, your setbacks are opportunities, and your small victories are signs of progress, you will find the strength to continue moving forward. And over time, you will become a version of yourself you never thought possible, a version that is unstoppable, no matter the challenges that lie ahead. Keep learning. Growth is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong journey. As you evolve, you'll encounter new challenges, new people, and new ideas. Each of these encounters offers an opportunity to learn. Whether it's from a book, a conversation, or an experience, there's always something new to discover. Keep an open mind and be willing to adapt your perspective. The more you learn, the more you become equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Keep evolving. Just as your circumstances change, so do you. The version of you that started this journey may not be the same as the version that will finish it. And that's a good thing. Your evolution is a sign of progress. Every time you step into a new phase of your life, you're becoming more aligned with your true self. It's not about reaching an endpoint where you're done evolving. It's about continuously striving to become the best version of yourself, recognizing that there's always room for growth, no matter how much you've accomplished. Finally, keep pushing forward. There will be times when you feel like giving up. There will be days when the weight of everything feels too heavy to carry. But it's in those moments that pushing forward becomes the most important. Even when things aren't going perfectly, even when progress seems slow or stagnant, the act of moving forward, even if it's just one small step, is what propels you toward your future. Each step, each action, and each choice keeps you moving closer to the person you are meant to become. In the end, remember that your journey is yours alone. The process of growth, learning, and evolving is unique to you, and there's no one right way to do it. The most important thing is that you keep moving, even when it feels hard, and that you stay true to yourself, no matter what. With each step you take, you're moving closer to the person you're meant to be. And that's something worth celebrating. Now, I want to challenge you to take immediate action. You've read this far, and you're ready to make a change. So take a deep breath. Commit to one small action today. Whether it's setting a new goal, taking a first step toward a challenge, or simply choosing to believe in your own worth, take that step. The journey may not be easy, but you are capable. And the rewards, they will be worth every step.